Welcome to a quick class from Seating Dynamics. Today, we'll be discussing dynamic seating, general clinical indicators. My name is Michelle Lang, and thank you very much for joining us here today. So, dynamic seating has three primary clinical indicators. First, to absorb and diffuse force. And this is from client extension, client movement. Many of our clients have large, forceful movement patterns. And by absorbing and diffusing this force, we can protect the client from injury, protect the equipment from damage. Second, dynamic seating provides movement, and by providing movement, we are providing sensory input, which many of our clients seek out. And then finally, dynamic seating can be used to improve postural control, stability, as well as function. There are many more specific clinical applications, and most of these are well supported in the research. We are protecting the wheelchair user from injuring themselves by constantly or intermittently pushing against non-yielding surfaces. We're protecting the wheelchair and seating hardware from loss of alignment or even breakage due to these extreme forces. We are increasing client sitting tolerance as well as compliance to use the seating system, enhancing vestibular input through movement, facilitating active range of motion through a limited range, the range of the dynamic component. We are increasing alertness and decreasing agitation, and this is a result of provision of movement. Many clients will find they are less fatigued and more functional when using dynamic seating. Dynamic seating can increase strength and postural control, reduce that active extension, those patterns of movement that we may see as they are diffused, and finally, to reduce energy consumption from the client. Now, this young man has large movement patterns and a lot of extension throughout his body. So, in our primary clinical indicators, our first one was to diffuse this force and absorb. And this otherwise could lead to client injury. He could readily injure himself pushing with this force against the system. He could break equipment. He may not be able to tolerate sitting as long. He might be more agitated, have a decrease in function, further increases in extension as he continued to push against a non-yielding static system, and also using up a lot of energy. Second, we have of those primary clinical indicators allowing movement. This gentleman here needs to move. He does this most of his day. If he can't move, he quickly becomes agitated. He becomes sub-aroused or less alert. So by allowing him this movement, he's much more content. He needs this movement. He's less agitated, more alert, and his equipment is also protected. He was rocking his previous equipment literally apart. And then finally, our third primary scenario was improving postural control, stability, and function. This young woman here is able to self-propel her manual chair within her home on those smooth, level surfaces. But when she goes outside, she wasn't able to push at all until she received a dynamic back. The dynamic back has allowed her to push in a further range of environments. It's improved her function because she can lean back into the dynamic back and use some of that stored energy to help her move forward. As she leans back, she can get a better placement on the wheels with her hands as well. And this is allowing her to move herself outdoors. So those are our main clinical indicators for dynamic seating. And I hope you can join us for other quick classes. We have quite a big series of them. If you ever have any questions, if you want to problem solve a difficult client situation, feel free to reach out to myself or to Seating Dynamics directly. Thanks very much, everyone.